Hey YouTube, I'm making this video to bring you a deck. The colors are red, green, and white, and it's an aggro deck. So, there are 25 creatures, 25 lands, and 10 removal/burn spells. Now, the first creature is the only 1-drop for Loam Line. This used to be Wild Nicodle. Wild Nicodle is so much better, but unfortunately it is banned. I used to play with him, but a 3/3 for 1 mana is just wrong. But Loam Line is a little bit more fair. In this deck it's a 2/3 for 1 mana. For 2 mana we have Porcelain Legionnaire. Beats for 3, it's a 3/1 first striker. I almost always cast this for 2 of any color and 2 life. And that's pretty nice. Pozzoli Pride Mage, a green and white 2/2 with Exalted. If you sack him, you can sack him to blow up an artifact and enchantment. So this deck has built-in, main board artifact and enchantment hate, which is really sweet. Woolly Thoktar is a 5/4 vanilla creature for red, green, and white. That's pretty good. He doesn't always come out on turn 3, as you will tell from the very cheap mana base, which I will go into later. But he's pretty good. 5 power and sometimes 6 when you get Exalted, and sometimes 8 when you pump him with Briarhorn. But anyways, that is all the creatures that you can cascade into with Bloodbraid Elf. Bloodbraid Elf is a 3/2 haste for 2 red and a green with Cascade. It gives you a free creature, or at worst a Lightning Bolt, which will go to their face, or a Brimstone Volley, which will go to their face. It is a pretty decent card because it gives you card advantage. Briarhorn also gives you card advantage. This is a 4 mana creature. It's a 3/3 with Flash. When it comes into play, target creature gets +3/+3 till end of turn. You can also evoke it to play it for like a 2 mana rampant giant growth, which is really sweet. So this card's pretty versatile. Spellbreaker Behemoth is not as exciting as I would like it to be, because it's just a 5/5 for 4 mana, and sometimes it's hard to cast because it has double green, and the mana base in this deck is really cheap, but it can't be countered, and it gives the only other creature in the deck with power 5 or greater, Woolly Thoktar, uncounterability when it's on the field. But really it's just, I don't know, it's just in there. There's 2 on the sideboard. Anyways, for removal and burn, there's 4 Lightning Bolt, and I don't think you can go without it. It gives you a quick removal spell in the early turns to get rid of a blocker and get in for more damage. Brimstone Volley is similar, but usually you'll want to use this towards the end of the game when you have 3 creatures and you're just alpha striking. They'll kill one of your creatures, and then you just let them take 5 to the face. There's 3 here, but there are 4 in the deck. I'm not sure where the 4th one is. And you have 2 Oblivion Ring. This is pretty much a catch-all for pretty much anything, except for lands. But I only play 2 because you don't want to play too many of these. The mana base for this deck is very simple. There's 5 mountains, 7 forests, and 5 plains. And 8 cheap fetches. Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse, you have 8 in total. For the sideboard, there are 2 more Spellbreaker Behemoths, basically just against decks with counter spells. It's not the most exciting card, but it's there. Versus pretty much any deck that does not play blue, I have Punchable Fire because it's 6 damage in a card. So it's even more than Brimstone Volley, and that plus Brimstone Volley, sometimes you're able to kill your opponent when your opponent is at 11 life, and that is just awesome. There are 4 Dauntless Escort in the sideboard, and what he is good against is one of the deck's major weaknesses. And this is a very creature-heavy deck. If your opponent is able to cast a sweeper like a Day of Judgment or even Slagstorm, sometimes that will end the game for you. And what he does is you can sacrifice him to give all your creatures indestructibility till the end of turn. And even if they don't do that, he's still a 3/3 for 3, which is alright. And this right here is an equipment that I don't have 2 of, but I have 2 on the sideboard. It's 3 to cast, 3 to equip, Sword of Vengeance. It gives +2/+0, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. And while I was first skeptical of this equipment, I'm trying it out because I think in a creature deck versus creature deck matchup, 2 of these would be very good to have, because if you had one of them, it would give you a huge advantage, especially in the with vigilance and first strike. I think that card deserves its spot on the sideboard. Also, the last 4 cards in the sideboard are 2 Ray of Revelation and 2 Ancient Grudge. I always stress how important it is to bring Artifact and Enchantment Hate, and you don't really need many of these cards to do the job. 1 Ancient Grudge takes out 2 artifacts. For some opponents, that can be all you need, and same thing for Ray of Revelation. I love when my opponents play Oblivion Ring and Journey to Nowhere as removal, because I have this guy in the sideboard and I can just blow them out of the water with it. Now that deck, as you just saw it, was around $30. I know that's more than $25, but there are 4 Dauntless Escorts in the sideboard. Those are about $2 each right now, so if you cut all 4 of those and replace them with something else you like, you might be able to get it for a little bit cheaper. Also in the deck are the 4 Blood Braid Elves. Those are about $2 each right now, and I would recommend keeping those in. But those are my recommendations. I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.